When I was in America, a man asked, "Would you die for your country?" No, I will not die for Singapore. But no matter how many reasons I gave to try to justify that answer, I couldn't shake off the feeling that something was very wrong. And so when I came back home, I asked the people I knew, I asked people that I grew up with, and almost all of them shared the same answer as me. There is a problem in our country. Let me try to explain and see if you agree. Imagine if it's the weekend and you're out with your family, just coming out of Orchard MRT as you head into Ion Shopping Centre. In front of you are your parents deciding where to go and what to eat. Holding your hand is your partner or your child. There is a man beside you, and you notice that something is wrong. He is trying too hard to fit in. Your sense of suspicion and dread starts to grow as he very deliberately pulls his backpack to the front. He closes his eyes, and before you can do anything, he screams out his intention to detonate himself. Two outcomes. Outcome A, where out of fear and self-preservation, everyone around you jostles and tries to move past you to gain as much distance from him as possible. You try to do the same. You try to alert your family, but you are too late. You are too close to him. The last thing that you see is the fear in your loved one's eyes. Outcome B, where the moment the man screams, everyone rallies a call to the danger present, they move forward and they tackle him and they pin him down. We live in a world where crisis is inevitable. It's only a matter of when. If all our existing defenses fail, and we do not address this undercurrent of cynicism and indifference, then it's going to play out a lot like outcome A. And we cannot let it, for the sake of our loved ones. My name is Divyan Nair. I'm a storyteller. I'm a son. I'm a brother. I know I was born here, to an Indian father and a Chinese mother. I have a brother whom I grew up with in an HDB flat I've lived in all my life. I read Russell Lee's True Singapore Ghost Stories in primary school during recess. I had my first kiss by the Esplanade. I also watched growing up on television. If this is the only home I've ever known, then why is it that I, and so many others who've shared my experience, not want to defend it with all our hearts? There is a glue that is missing in our society, a glue that solidifies us as a people, a glue that we can call a national identity, more than multiculturalism and food and shuk and kiasu. A glue. I spoke to a man from France once, and he told me that the most important concept he's ever shared with his children is that they should never let anyone take away their liberty, or liberté, as he said, because that was what it meant to be French. The Americans, despite their multiculturalism and difference in opinion, share a basic, distinct human principle that bind them together. And that principle is freedom. Freedom is their glue. In the recent bombings in Jakarta, a message of solidarity and defiance was born from the people. Jakarta Berani, or Jakarta is brave. What if I told you that in the history of our country, there has always been a glue, and it's represented by just one word. A word that can be grown into a belief, an idea, a symbol of strength. A word that starts with the letter M. No, it's not money. The word is Majulah. Did you know that Majulah is not listed in the Malay dictionary? That's because it's a colloquial expression of the Malay word maju, which means to move onward and progress, and the suffix la, which in itself has an interesting history. It spans a huge range of time and language. In Tamil, in Chinese, in Mandarin, and many of its dialects, Cantonese, Sekfanla, and of course our national language, Malay. That all together makes Majulah a word put together by cultures, tied by the idea of progress, just like Singapore. Majulah, a call to move onward together. If we choose it, and if we really believe in it, then more than its definition of onwardness and progress, what it can mean is this: No matter how large the crisis or how difficult it can be, what it means to be a Singaporean is we will never say die. We will always survive, and we will always be there for each other. Majulah. If we choose it, it can be built on 3 principles: ownership, courage, and compassion. Courage in the way it becomes our brave call to rally as we scream it out, Majulah, to defend each other. Compassion in the way we encourage each other when we say, Majulah, my friend, it's going to be okay. Ownership in the way we invite the world to our shores and we greet them with Majulah, welcome to Singapore. Majulah was the spirit we showed when 300,000 of us braved time and weather to show respects to Lee Kuan Yew as he passed, even though nobody asked us to. Majulah is the graciousness we can adopt to show the people who contribute to our society, who want to build a life here, regardless of whether they are born here or not. Majulah is the belief that I will know when I step out of my home to meet and greet every single person I see, because they are my father, my mother, my brother, my sister, and my friend. If you believe that this message has a chance at all to change our country, a chance to shave away the apathy and indifference, then I humbly ask you, as one Singaporean to another, to share this video so that we can solidify us as a people. We can underscore that precisely because we are such a small nation, we are more important to each other than we realize. We can underscore that regardless of race or religion, privilege or status, we can choose this together. If that man were to ask me again, my answer would be this: the only reason I will not die for Singapore is because I know that it is more important that I live for it. And my answer comes from knowing who we are. We are not a people who are more important or less important than each other. We are not a people who kowtow or cower. We are not sheep to be heard. We are not deer to be hunted. We are lions who will roar in the face of adversity together. Because more than anything, we are Majulah.